Thank you for joining me on the show today. This is the Now Talks, a collection of inspiring personal stories and leadership lessons from some of the world's most iconic leaders. It is the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. My name is Dr. Tina Alton, and I'm your host for today and the coming weeks. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. My name is Tina Alton. I'm the CEO and president here at Nations of Women. For those of you that don't know me, I am delighted to come your way with the amazing Kim Corden, all the way from United Kingdom. And Kim is just an amazing woman who's had such a tremendous impact in my life. And I really don't think I would be half the woman I am if it hasn't been for Kim, her impact in my life, my family, and so many other things. So Kim, thank you so much for saying yes to coming to join us today. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Very well. Yep, very excited to be doing this for you, Tina, and just to be part of something starting at the beginning that I'm sure will grow and grow and grow. So it's good to be with you. Good to meet everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I want us to kick off, today's edition of Now Talks, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey, as a leader, but really as a female leader, because that's really part of our heart here at Nations of Women, is helping women to come into their potential, to come into the places where decisions are happening, to step into leadership. So what's been your journey, and what is some of the, lessons that you've learned that anybody listening or reading would actually find inspiration from?
Well, my life has been very different to most people's lives because I was, when I went to school, I went to art and drama school. So I was trained as an actress, dancer, singer, all of those things. And from a very young age, I was seen by some directors and asked to be in a film, which I went to Ireland for about 6 months. After that children's film, I went on to another film, film, TV, and I suddenly found myself in the world of show business. Being really an extrovert, but an introvert at the same time, I found that playing different roles, acting, reading scripts, becoming different characters, I love to do that. But what I found is in developing a character for a screenplay or for a TV series, you had to become that person to identify with the character to be able to play it. So when I married my husband, which was 41 years ago, I felt that I really wanted to concentrate on my marriage and starting a family rather than continue in show business. So I stepped out of the limelight. I'd just become a Christian, loving God, finding out everything about God. But then I had to rediscover who I was because I had spent so many years training to play other people's parts. And I went on a journey to discover who I was. And I realized that naturally inside of me, I love people. I love people. And I'm a person that loves to see others succeed. It gives me great joy to help, whether it's mentoring, praying, being friends with someone, to see someone else be their true self, to be authentic. And I think if I had to say one thing to anyone to really enjoy living their lives, just be you. Know who you are. Live and be the authentic you. And when you're authentic, people will trust you. You'll have great relationships, long relationships. And you'll find that when you work with people, that you help them discover the potential that's already inside them and help draw it out. So a gift that God's given me through everything that I've learned as being in film and TV, as a wife, a mother, a businesswoman, someone that travels internationally, I find that people are drawn to me because I'm authentic, because I'm me. And I'm not trying to be authentic. I just am me. and I'm satisfied. I like myself. I love myself. I find great joy. Every day I wake up and say, God, it's great to be alive today. Who can I bless today? Who can I help today, Tina? And I think even with you, to see you grow and to see how the beauty of God is just emanating from you, because you now know more of who you are. You identify yourself as yourself, not how someone brought you up to be, or how a business leader made you be, or a Christian leader made you be. You felt you had to conform. Sometimes you can conform to rules and regulations or other people's ways they want to make you be, but it's not really you. It kills the light inside of you. And so I'm a person that wants to switch the light on in people and say, hey, I love you. Let's work together. Let's build you up so that you can walk in the full potential. So my life has been very diverse. I work with people all over the world. I absolutely love it. You know, when I'm at home, I absolutely love it. Whatever I'm doing, I take the joy in all of those situations, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the opportunities that I have. I'm thankful to know you, Tina. I'm thankful to see Nations of Women, you know, at the birth to grow, and that you're doing the magazine, and that you know, all the ideas and visions that God's given you, you can now see the possibilities of how to make them happen. And do you know something? Many people go along in their lives in loneliness and isolation and loneliness, because even with their family, could be with their husband, with their family, even with their children, sometimes the people they work with, they never feel fully accepted. But if you accept yourself and start to love who you are, that's really all you need, and to be walking with God. And then you'll find that the confidence that you have in yourself gives other people confidence and freedom to be themselves, and they're more accepting. Your relationships are deeper, they're lifelong. So I always say to someone when I'm going into a friendship or a business commitment, you know, I'm with you for life. I'm with you for life. Our alignment, I want to be forever friends. And they say, it's not possible. It's not possible for ever friends. Well, love me or hate me, I will still be your friend. I will still love you. I won't desert you, because in my unique design, I'm called to be faithful. I'm called to be a faithful one. And you know, knowing God, having an intimate relationship with God has just changed everything for me. So whether you're working, you know, in business, in ministry, traveling to different countries, working with different connections, different types of businesses, styles, and people, you can still be yourself.
Wow, thank you so much. I mean, you know, I've written so much here, and so not only have you been my midwife, not necessarily delivering my children, but midwife and delivering my vision, right? And being part of the support system around me that has truly transformed me to, you know, the woman that I'm becoming. And one thing you said is you're the one who, you know, switches the lights off in people. So I think, Kim, you're the electrician. You're the one who, you're the kind of woman that, you know, enables all the electrical circuits in us to be fully switched on, fully, you know, working, really thriving in our fullest potential and in the greatest good for which we were wired for. One of the things I've written here is you said that when you see others, you're able to see the fullest potential, and you're also inherently the kind of woman, the kind of leader that loves others and want to see others, you know, come to a place of fruition, and others step into their calling, their purpose, their mission. But I've also noticed that particularly you know, for women, and not necessarily being stereotypical, but particularly for women, time and time and time again, that's something I find that some women struggle with, being able to step outside of, sometimes it's because of experiences, right? Sometimes it could be a betrayal, a loss of, you know, business, whatever it is. So then there is this barrier or facade that is put up that stops us from actually being the woman or the leader that pushes somebody else to, to go forward, to cheer for others. So do you have maybe one or two practical tips that if a woman finds themselves in that place where inside their heart they feel like, oh, I really want to help that person, but then they just don't, they stop, right? They activated in their heart in that way, but then they stop moving, taking that next step of being, I would say, like the key or the door for somebody else's breakthrough. What would we say, like one or two practical tips that somebody a woman can take, apply that and be able to break out of that, limitation on them?
I would say the first one would be, don't let your past define your future. When I say don't let your past define your future, if in your past you have been betrayed or someone hasn't seen the potential in you, or you've been forced to pursue a career that you never felt led to, but you did it to be obedient to your parents, or you've been in a job for many, many years and every day you experience abuse, whether it's verbal, physical, you're just put down, don't let other people's opinions and their identity of you define who you are. If you don't know who you are, the first thing is to discover, and I can take you through the process, Tina, you've been through this process, to work out, who really am I? Who did God create me to be? Who am I? What is my character? What is my purpose? What is my life goal? What is my I am statement? So the first thing is, don't let your past define your future. It doesn't matter. It matters very much what's happened to you in the past, but it doesn't mean that you're less valuable in any way because of those experiences. The second thing I would say is, what is the motive of your heart? What really, if you're really honest with yourself, what is the motive of your heart in a relationship? Is it to give something and to see someone lifted up and elevated, maybe above you, to see someone be very successful? Or is it to get something from them? And I mean this quite seriously, because everyone wants something from someone these days. But the heart of God is to give freely. Because, freely you give, freely you receive. And if you want the upgrades in knowing who you are, to know the value that you carry, you have to know the motive of your heart. I'll give you an example. Last night, we had a friend coming over. She works for a company, but she's starting her own beauty therapy company. And I've been encouraging her for about a year to step out on her own and to go full time, because she's so gifted. She just has a gift of healing in her hands as she works with your body. And she said last night, I've done it. It's taken me 2 years, but I've done it. She said, but what if people don't like me? What if people don't value me? And what if I'm all the time, I'm worried about, I need them to book an appointment with me because I need the money, but I don't want to be thinking about that. I said, what's the motive of your heart, Rachel? And she said, well, I want to see people healed. I want to help people. And I said, and keep that as the motive of your heart, not what you can get from someone. It's what you can give. So they would be the two main things that I would say to someone. Don't let your past define your future. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. And it's harder for some women than others to find acceptance, to find belonging, to know who they are, and to find a safe place. So have a look at the people around you. Do you have people around you that really seek your best, that really want to keep you safe, to build you up, that want to see you soar, that will help you, equip you in any way you need? Or around you, do you have people that seek to pull you down, to harm you, to discredit you? And if you have those negative people around you, move away from them. Do everything you can to position yourself with people that are like-minded. And when I say like-minded, they don't have to be like you, but share the same goal as to give and to motivate positively rather than negatively.
Oh, this is so good. And you're my first, you're opening this show up for us. And I think, I mean, everything you've written here is so great. I will provide the summary as we wrap up. But one of the things that's really stuck up for me is, look for those around you. Do they seek your best or do they seek to pull you down? And you have to remove yourself from them. I remember when I was much, much younger, I'm only 27.
Like me.
Yeah, I think the L'Oreal or something else. I'm not 27, but I've convinced my heart that I am 27. One of the things that I really personally struggled with when I was much, much younger was removing myself from relationships or friendships that I knew were not allowing me to move forward. Right. And so it took a lot of work to really come to that place of finding, I would say, like the strength to not be afraid to walk out of, those friendships. But since you're here and you're a woman that I look up to and I admire immensely, would you just walk us through, like maybe like your best practical tip if a woman struggles to walk away from a friendship or relationship that is not serving them? What is a practical way for them to break that bondage or that cycle or that limitation?
If it's friendship, I think you need to seek the other person's best, first of all. So if you're in a friendship where you know that your friend, because you've been friends a long time, is jealous of you, doesn't really seek your best, how are you helping that friend be the best person they can be? Because by being in that relationship, you're just feeding them. They're becoming more powerful by feeding the negativity, and that changes who they are. So you have to look at, it might not be just what's best for you, but what's best for that person. Is this a healthy relationship? Is this a healthy relationship? I think if it's a marriage, you would go through the processes of seeking counsel, whether it's church counsel, whether it's mediation, whatever it is, and you go through that, and then you make your decision. If you're in an abusive situation, you need to get help to get out of that abusive situation. Remember, abusers who are allowed to continue to abuse will just become worse, and they get caught up in their own stuff. But what I would say as a Christian leader is, when you connect with the heart of the Father God, when you connect with the heart of the Father and you start speaking to God and asking Him and asking Holy Spirit to lead you and guide you in everything you do, you will find that people that maybe were aligned to you suddenly disappear. And you think, what have I done? What have I done? Maybe you haven't done anything. Maybe God's moved them out of the way. So it's human nature to want to control things. It's just the way we are. But sometimes trying to control things or control other people or what they do or how they say backfires on us. And so we must be careful. Again, it comes back to what is the motive of your heart in that relationship. And I'd say for everyone here, for everyone that will read this, everyone that will see this, I'm in my 60s now, and I've gone through very many experiences that have shaped who I am. Mm-hmm. And I can say that through all those experiences, good and bad, I know that my heart is good before God, and my heart is good before people. And my life call really is to see people succeed in who God made them to be. So find out, who is it God made them to be? How can I discover things? And we can talk about this other times, Tina. We can powwow together on this. But even the walk that you've gone through, even the walk in your family, how God changed you, and that had a knock-on effect on your family through things that just needed to be more aligned, the same as in mine and everyone else's. So when God changes us, or when we make a decision to put our selfish gain down and to sow freely and give and to serve, everything comes into perspective. We get a new lens. We need a new lens. So I hope that starts to answer the question. There's so much we could talk about. I would say to everyone, let your love be greater than your fear.
Yes.
Let your love be greater than your fear. And why don't you be a light shining in a dark place for someone?
Wow, this is profound. I love that. And I actually read some, I can't remember where I wrote, but I actually did a post back in July, talking about like our primary identity. Who I am is not what I do with my hands, but it's really what I pursue with my heart. Love how you've rephrased this as, what is the motive of your heart? Because everything has a motive. Everything has a motive. If I walk into my fridge to eat something, there's a motive. It's my stomach feels hungry, or something else. So there is a motive that propels us in everything we do. And I really love what you shared here, that we should always check the motive of our heart. But above all of that is that your love should be greater than your fear. I really, really am loving this. So obviously we're short of time. I think I'm going to have to have you back at another time to unpack, a bit more about how to really discover who you're wired to be, who you're called to be. But in the last minute that we have, what is your advice? What would you give to the now woman today? What is the biggest lesson we can learn from your life?
I think it's to look into a mirror, get up in the morning, look into the mirror and say, wow, you're beautiful. I love who I am. It's to actually look at yourself and tell yourself you like who you are, you love who you are, and you are beautiful. You speak to your spirit. You tell yourself, so you're not always reliant on someone else to tell you. So at the end of the day, if no one's told you you're beautiful, you're really fed up. Tell yourself, because you are beautiful. And this goes for body image, self-image, body image, whether, no matter what age you are, whether you're stick thin, whether you have a little extra to carry that you may not need. All this thing about I'm fat, I'm thin, I'm this, I'm that. Be you. Enjoy being you. And if you need to adjust things, if you need to get fit, lose some weight, do it, but don't whinge about it. Just get on and do it. But you're beautiful. You're beautiful. And I say to every woman out there, to everyone watching this, with the sincerity in my heart, be a shining light today. Be a shining light in your family, your home, your work. Switch the light on and be the authentic you. People might say, what's happened to you? What's happened to you? Well, I'm being myself now. I'm not playing games anymore. I'm not trying to fit into a box. I'm being the authentic me. And I want to hear what happens, Tina. I want to hear what happens.
Absolutely. So listeners, readers, you heard it from Kim. We want you to connect with us and let us know. If you're listening, just send us an email now at nationsofwomen.com. Let us know how you're applying these practical tips and how is that affecting your life? What are the changes that you're seeing? And don't forget, the only thing that never changes is if you do nothing. If you do nothing, nothing will change. But if you do what we have shared with you today, you're going to see the fruit of that. So just to wrap up, in our conversation with Kim today is see others, be the woman, be the leader that see others come into their fullest potential. Don't let your past define your future. Others not seeing your potential is not a barrier that you should stay behind that line. Don't let others' opinion define you. Come and discover who you are and watch the motive of your heart in every relationship that you're in, whether it's a family relationship or business relationship. Also be mindful of who is around you. Are these people that seek your good? Are they draining from you? And how you help others to become the best version of themselves is how you grow. Connect with the heart of God to enable him to lead you. Right. And whatever you believe in, when you keep your heart pure, when you keep the motives of your heart pure, you will continuously be blessed. You would continuously be overflowing with joy, with peace, and so much more blessings. And so I want to encourage you and tell you, women, like Kim said, it is time to let your light shine. It is time for you to arise and shine, for your time has come and the time is now. So thank you again so much, Kim, for the gift of your time with us today. We sure will have you back again. But until we come your way next time, remember to connect with us. Remember to ask people, share this podcast with people and let them be blessed as well. We will come your way again with the next conversation. Until then, remember, your time is now. God bless you.
God bless.
And that's all for this week. You've been listening to Dr. Tina Alton with the Now Talks, the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. All that remains is for me to say have a fantastic week, stay safe, and reach out if you need any help now at nationsofwomen.com. Until next time, enjoy the pursuit of your potential, and remember, now is your time.